Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills from the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to this masterclass on the big picture overview of creating an online business. And what I'm going to talk about is all the things you need to set yourself up for massive success online. Well, let's just start first with who am I? My name is Christina Hills, and I am an online teacher and trainer. And I have been teaching WordPress for many, many years in a program called the Website Creation Workshop. Before I was an online entrepreneur, I worked in the Hollywood special effects industry. And this is my IMDb page. The most famous films I worked on was Star Wars, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and Jurassic Park. So I worked on Star Wars Episode 1. That's not the one that came out in the 70s. It's the one that came out in the mid-90s. And here's just some shots from the films that I worked on E.T., the Lost World. And my job in the special effects industry was making sure that this dinosaur really looked like it was in the live action shot. And here's then a shot from Star Wars. So for 13 years, I've taught more than 3,399 coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, healers, and business owners how to quickly and easily create a website with WordPress. That's my signature program. And my passion and gift is teaching technology and making it fun. And I like having the entrepreneurial lifestyle. And now more than ever, people are wanting to come online, or they maybe need to do it from work. So I just want to tell you, early on, before I was doing this myself, I hired an outsourcing agency to build some of my websites. And here are a couple of the sites that they built for me. But they built something I did not ask for. My webmaster built his own porn site inside my hosting account. And it was super embarrassing when I discovered I was paying this guy, and what was he doing on the hours I was paying him? He was building a porn site, and I think he was also building a membership site. So no more depending upon these guys. I decided I was going to be empowered and do this on my own. All right, but let's talk about you. This is you, and you're smart. You're a smart person. You've been around a while, but what you really want is a big picture overview of building an online business. The thing about online businesses is they're ephemeral. They're like in the air, and it's sometimes hard to get a grasp on all the pieces. So my goal in this training today is to give you a solid overview of all of these pieces. So here's what the online world looks like. There's you and your website and your business, whatever it is that you're doing, or your nonprofit, whatever it is that you're doing. And then there's all these other social media sites and people all around the internet doing their own thing. And your goal is to get people interested in your site, your mission, whatever it is that you're doing. So that's you with your website in the middle. And then there's all these different ways to do business online. So first is social media, and I'll go more into depth on social media. So that's a way to get people interested in you and your business. The other one is networking events. And right now, networking events are not really happening. They are more, everybody's moved online now, but networking events will come back. The other way to get people interested in your site is email marketing. So emails driving people to your website. And then, so notice these little arrows go in. Then from your site, you want a person to take action. So the down here is going out, meaning going to buy a product or service. Or if you have a physical location, going to your store. So maybe you're a healer or a massage therapist. Maybe you see clients in person. Okay, nowadays we're not doing that so much. What a lot of people are doing are phone consultations, phone and webinar. So this is kind of like the overall view of an online business. And let's start first with focusing on your website, okay? So let's talk about your website. So your website is your home, and your home has an address, a domain name. So let me go back to this back up to this slide. So your website has to live somewhere. It has to live in a hosting account. Bluehost and SiteGround are two very popular hosting accounts, but there's lots of other places to host your website. GoDaddy is the most popular place to buy a domain name. There's also Namecheap and lots of other places to buy your domain name. So your domain name connects to your web hosting account, right? So you have a name and then a web hosting account. Sometimes you hear the term point. Point your domain name to your website. So if you ever hear that term, you'll know what that means. So for example, websitecreationworkshop.com is my domain name, and here's a screenshot of my site. And on my tab at the top, you can click to blog, websitecreationworkshop.com/blog. I've been blogging for many, many years. ChristinaHills.com is my other site. It's my portal. It's sort of the gateway to all my other programs. And that's the domain name, and that is the website. So I want to take this poll. Do you have a website? So you can just click on the screen. I want to get an idea if you have a website. Yes, and it's in WordPress. Yes, but it's not in WordPress. Yes, I have a site, but I'm not sure what it is. Or no, I don't have a site yet. And you don't have to have a website for today's training. I just kind of want to get an idea, and it's okay if it's not in WordPress. So you just click on the screen. Jessica says, yes, she does, thanks to you and the website creation workshop. And I'll let other people know about that who maybe are not familiar with it. All right, I think I will close the poll and share the results. So a lot of you have a website, almost half, and it's in WordPress. A bunch of you have a site, but it's not WordPress. Some have a site and you're not sure what it is. That probably means that someone else built it for you. And then a lot of you don't have a website yet. So that is quite all right. I have a class starting soon. It's my spring website creation workshop course. I will be sending emails about that, and I'll also have another training where I'll go more into WordPress. But let's go back to the big picture of building your online business. So I'll keep referring back to this diagram that gives you kind of the lay of the land of the online world. All right, so let's first talk about social media. Here's some social media stats. In 2018, an estimated 2.65 billion people were using social media worldwide, a number projected to increase to almost 3.1 billion in 2021. And this is from Social Media Examiner. They put out a report every year. Here's the most commonly used social media platforms. You've got Facebook at the top with the most people using it. And then there's Instagram. Under Instagram is Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, Messenger bots, and Snapchat. So Facebook and Instagram are the two top platforms used by marketers. All right, well, talking about social media, who hangs out where? Like when you're thinking about, should I spend my time on social media? Who hangs out where? Facebook, that's, almost everybody. Instagram is a little more personal. It's visually oriented, and there is, the younger generation. So my daughter makes fun of me for being on Facebook. She spends more time on Instagram. Twitter is really for big celebrities and news media and customer service. So lots of customer service happens on Twitter. Not that you can get a lot of details about, your account if you're going to Twitter, but it's often a place when people want to get information out fast, they'll post on Twitter. So if I'm ever worried about a third-party software I'm using that maybe there's something wrong with it, I'll go to Twitter to check it out. LinkedIn is great for B2B, for corporate networkers, recruiters. It's more of a business place to be, whereas, Facebook has everything under the sun. Then there's YouTube, and people refer to YouTube as social media. I don't think of it that much that way, but it's where you get videos. Entertainment industry is there, lots of how-to, people making money from YouTube views, and people with video-friendly content to share go on YouTube. You can put video on the other platforms, but that's what YouTube is known for. And then Pinterest is visually oriented people, mostly female, but there are men on Pinterest as well. And crafters, photography, food, fashion, fitness, beauty, anything that's very visual, people put on Pinterest. And the great thing is all of these social media platforms are free. So I want to know, I don't have a poll for this, but just type in the question box, do you use social media? And it's okay if you don't. I'm just curious if you use it. Do you have an account? And if you use it, and some people say yes, some people for business only, LinkedIn mostly, Facebook for business and personal. Some people use it reluctantly. Instagram and Pinterest, says Monique. Okay, cool. Social media, it's a double-edged sword, right? And I have a poll, so let me bring up this poll because I'd like to know which social media platform do you spend the most time on? And Gary, you're never too old. Which do you spend the most time on? And there's no right answer, and it's okay if you don't use social media, and maybe there's some other platform. They only gave me 5 answers, so maybe you're spending more time on Pinterest or something else. But if you could just click on the screen, and I think I'll close the poll. Almost everybody's voted, so I'm going to close the poll and share the results. So most of you are using Facebook. That is where I spend the most time. Then there's Instagram, LinkedIn, other, and about 10-11% of you don't use social media. The reason why I like, let me go to my next slide. I'm going to talk about sharing on social media. The reason why I like Facebook is you can share links. Instagram, you can share pictures, but there's no live links. So I personally don't find it as interesting because I want to click to a link. I want to see what my friends are reading and observing online and click over there. So, for part of having your online business or your business online is you want to have these social media accounts so that you can share your content. So this is an article I did on the 10 tips to stay at home, to be super productive working at home. And I wrote this and then I shared it to Facebook. I shared it to Instagram. And so Instagram has this very visual look. Everything is square size. But when you click into it, notice I included the link, but it's not hyperlinked, meaning you can't just click on it and get to my article. But lots of people are on Instagram. It's the hot place to be, so you want to have an Instagram account. I share to LinkedIn. LinkedIn does let you have links, and they make their own special link when you post to Instagram. And that's true that you can have a link to in your bio, right? But that's just one link. You can have a link in your bio to your site, but you can't share ideas and articles. All right, LinkedIn, you can have links, and then Twitter. And I'm not as active on Twitter as I used to be. I used to be much more active on Twitter. You know, different people hang out in different places, but here's the thing, it's free, so I'm going to post my content on Twitter anyway. All right, so that was the social media piece of having an online business. This is our big overview. I now want to talk about the email marketing piece. And I'm not going to talk about networking in-person events because right now we're all staying at home and we are not going out, but we are having fun online. So let's talk about email marketing. All right. So when I write, I post my article. I do a blog post on my website. So I have a WordPress website. WordPress lets you blog. If you don't like the word blog, you can call it a newsletter. But I write and create articles on my blog. And then what I do is I take that same content and I send it out via email. So if you're listening to me right now, you've probably seen one of my emails like this. This one is 10 tips to be productive working from home, but I will send out emails like this. And in the email, there's a link that you can click to go back to my site. So with email marketing, you're sending emails to drive people to your site. That's the term, driving traffic, which is guiding people to go to your site. And then on your website, you want to have an opt-in box, and I'll talk about that, to get people to sign up to be on your email list. So it's kind of a two-way thing, right? You want someone to come to your website to get on your email list, and then from your emails, you want to send them to your site. And email marketing is really about building a relationship. So building a list and creating a loyal following. And really, it's a relationship. You know, people are getting to know you. And every business needs some kind of opt-in offer. So your opt-in offer can be on the right sidebar, or you can set up a standalone page, or you can do both. It's very convenient to have it on the right sidebar, but it's more focused to have a standalone page. And I'm going to show you another standalone page because on the right sidebar, there's lots of other things to distract people. So once they opt in, then they get to a thank you page, sometimes also called the download page. And on my thank you page, I give a PDF download and a video you can watch. Then I also send a follow-up email message to the visitor, right? So if somebody comes to my site and they opt in, not only will they get the download, but an email will also give them the link to the download. So here's the process. I'm going to show you this little diagram of this process. Somebody comes to your site and they see some opt-in offer. That's called the opt-in offer. They enter their name and their email and they get to a thank you page. Once their name and email goes into your email marketing system, the email marketing system looks up and decides, oh, what am I supposed to send to this person? And then a series, either one or a series of emails goes out. And that's something that you set up ahead of time. So let me show you, walk you through this example, and I'll be mailing this out in a couple of weeks or next week. I don't remember where it is on the schedule. It's my do-it-yourself website creation checklist, and there's a download button. And when you click on that, up pops a place for a person to put in their name and email and click the download now. And then it goes to the thank you page. So this is what my thank you page looks like. And there's a video that goes along with this PDF. And also on my thank you page, I invite you to come to my next webinar. So there's a link down below to come to the next webinar. Also, at the same time, in case you missed it or you got up to get a cup of coffee or you accidentally closed your browser, because that happens, you get an email with the link to take you to the PDF download. So it's always good to have a follow-up. So this is called my opt-in goodie, right? So this is my opt-in goodie. So for your opt-in goodie, you need to decide on what is going to be the content and what is going to be the format. And am I going too fast? I just want to pause and take a sip. Type in the chat box. Am I going too fast? I want to make sure I'm not going too fast. Okay, good. Well, I can repeat things at the end if people want me to back up. All right, so you need to decide on your content and format. So let me talk about that. So what is your opt-in goodie content? So what is the actual content? So your content should be about your area of expertise. And this is going to be different for everyone. You might be a healer, you might be a business coach, you might be a spiritual entrepreneur, you might sell essential oils, you might be a life coach. I mean, everyone's going to have different content. So you might ask your current clients or your friends what you think would be appropriate for you to create in terms of the content. Then you need to think about the format, right? So you have content, that's the stuff in your brain, and you want to think about what format are you going to deliver it? Are you going to deliver it as like a PDF report, or are you going to make a video? Or are you going to make an audio recording? Or do you have tools or checklists or resources? Think about what is easy for you to implement, and that should be the delivery mechanism that you give your content, right? That you're going to send out in your email system. All right, so I want to take this poll. Do you already have, and do I have this as a poll? Maybe people can type it in. No, I don't have this as a poll. Okay. Do you have an email marketing system already? And it's okay if you don't. All right, we have some yeses and a lot of no's. So Don't feel bad if you don't have an email marketing system yet. You got to start somewhere. So that's the thing. When people want to come online, they get all panicky. Oh, I have to have all these things. You're human. Just do what you can. So, talking about email and a mailing list, right? You probably came to this webinar today because of an email that I sent you. So, my little quote, it's might sound funny to you. In order to email your list, you have to email your list. Meaning, people need to get used to the frequency of how often you email, and then they'll get used to that. So it could be daily, it could be weekly, it could be every other week, but you want to get them into the pattern of being used to them mailing from you, them getting emails from you. And I want you to watch for this PDF resource that I'm going to send you that's going to come in your emails with links to different systems. So just watch for that. All right, so that was the email marketing part of things. I now want to go to selling online. And again, if you have questions, I'll be taking questions at the end. So selling online. So let's talk about selling your products or services online. All right, so I think I have this poll. Are you currently selling online? Yes, on my own website. Yes, but on a third-party website. No, not yet. Or no, I don't want to sell online. So, you might be an author and you don't want to sell your books. You want to sell them through Amazon or Barnes and Noble. Or you might sell essential oils, but you go through the corporate company that has a website. And it's okay if not yet is the answer. I'm anticipating most people, the answer is you're not yet selling. And some people are selling through a corporate consulting site. So there's lots of different ways. Okay, I think I'll close the poll because we like to keep this moving along. So I'm going to close the poll, share the results. So some of you are selling on your website, some of you are selling on a third-party website, most of you are not selling online yet, and then there's a few of you who don't want to sell online, which is perfectly fine. Let me talk about the sales process for selling online. So this is a single product sales process. So what do I mean? I mean, like when you go to Amazon, you're buying something and then you're like adding other things to your basket and you're buying a lot of things. I sell courses mostly. And so when you buy one of my courses, it's a single product sales process. So we'll call that a one-step buy. So somebody comes to the site, they see it, they click to buy now, they get to an order form, and then they get to a post-purchase thank you page. So for example, I have a course that teaches people how to create graphics without being a graphic designer. So here is my page for that. Then at the bottom, you see the link to purchase that course. It takes you to a secure order form where people can safely put in their credit card. And then the thank you page, I have that in quotes, right? The thank you page is the page you land on after you've done some action. So in this instance, it's the action of entering your credit card and your info, email, etc., phone number, and then you get inside the course. So this is a screenshot from inside the course. Here is one of my students. This is Judy Foster from Women's Wisdom, and she has a community and she sells a membership to be part of her community. And when you click from her site, it takes you to PayPal. And everyone should have PayPal. Everybody should have a PayPal account. So let me talk about PayPal. So there's two kinds of PayPal accounts. There's a personal account, and then there's a business account. A personal account is for people who shop online. Maybe you're sending some money to friends, but you cannot accept credit cards. A business account lets you accept credit card payments and allows you to do business under a business name, and you can make mass payments. So if you want to sell online, you want to have a PayPal business account. And I don't have a slide for this because I didn't want to get into too many details, but you can have a free business account, meaning there's no monthly charge. So the personal account's free, but there is a business account that is free without a monthly charge. But if you accept credit cards, they are going to take a small cut, and it's usually about 3%. Anyway, check out and see which kind of PayPal account you have. The other way to take payments online is Stripe. It's a payment processor. It's a pay-as-you-go, just like PayPal. There's no monthly fees, no setup, no hidden fees. You only pay what you use. So they also take out about 3%. So if you sell a $100 product, they're going to take $3. Same with PayPal. $100 product, they're going to take about $3. But there's no setup fees and no monthly fees. All right, so this is a little bit more details of how a product is sold online. Remember, we're doing this big picture overview, so that's why I got all these fun diagrams. So again, somebody comes to your website, they find the product for sale, they get to the shopping cart order form, and then they enter their credit card and all their info, and they click and they get to the post-purchase thank you page, right? The page they land on after the order goes through. So once they click that submit button, their info goes into your merchant account or your Stripe account or PayPal if they used PayPal. And then their phone number, email address, etc., goes into whatever kind of shopping cart database that you have, whatever database system you're using to take online orders. And there's lots of different kinds. Then they will normally get an email receipt showing that the purchase has been made. So that is this kind of diagram. Let me walk you through this again. Here's an example of my sales letter from the website creation workshop. That's the top of the sales letter. Then when you get to the bottom of the sales letter, you have different payment plans. So this is one product, but I give my students different payment options. They can pay in full or a 6-month pay plan or a 3-month pay plan. So that's that step 1 from the website. So we're still on the website. When they click, then they get to an online order form, and everybody's online order form looks slightly different. This is the secure place where they enter their credit card and agree to the terms and the conditions. And that's that step 2. And then the thank you page goes into the private members area. So this is the members area on the inside of my website creation workshop, and you don't get there unless your purchase has gone through. So that is this little diagram of how a product is sold online. And then if you look in your PayPal account, you can see the purchase info from PayPal or whatever merchant account you're using, and then your shopping cart, your online ordering system will also have their info, and it automatically generates an email receipt. All right, so what kind of product do you want to create? And here's how I find the easiest way to think about it. Which format is going to be easy for you to deliver. And you don't have to do all of these. So just like an opt-in, your product would go into more depth than an opt-in. So do you want to give people videos, PDFs, maybe MP3 audios, checklists or diagrams, digital download, a community forum? You can sell a community. Will you offer live webinars? Some people do teleseminars, and my distinction is teleseminars, you're on the phone and there's no visuals. Maybe you're selling a software or a tool, or perhaps an in-person seminar. All right, so which format is the easiest for you? And let me see if I have a poll for this. If I don't, no, I don't have a poll. So just type in what format, and I'll put this back. What format is going to be the easiest for you to execute? Some people are writers, and Microsoft Word is easy, and turning that into a PDF is easy. Some people like to speak more, so videos might be, or webinars might be easy for them. Checklists as well. Everybody's different. So we see lots of people putting in PDFs, some putting in webinars, checklists, work guides, videos, MP3s. Yeah. So you want to think about when you create your product, an ebook as well, you want to think about what's going to be easy for you to execute. All right, so just like an opt-in goodie, right? The opt-in goodie is what you're giving away for free on your website. What need would a potential customer or client have? And what product could you create to solve that need? So let me, a burning need people often have who are new parents, I know I had this, was how to get that baby to go to sleep at night. That was a burning need. So you could create a product to help solve that problem for parents to help that baby get to sleep. Or maybe you are a health coach and you want to help your clients be more healthy. Or you don't have to sell your own product. You could sell other people's products. So you can sell affiliate products on your site. So I don't sell hosting services, but I recommend hosting companies. Or you can join the Amazon Associates program. It's free to join, and then you can earn money when people click from your site and go to Amazon and buy. So it is a way to make money. You kind of have to have a lot of traffic to make a ton of money on it, but it is another way to make money, and we can all use different ways to have streams of income come in. And then you can embed into your site an Amazon store. So here's an example of one of my past students. She collected a whole bunch of wedding books. They weren't her books, they were from other people. So she aggregated a collection of wedding planning books, and she had them for sale on her site. All right, so talking about selling directly online, what are all the little pieces that you need? All right, so what do you need to sell online? Well, you need a website. You need to have a product or a program. You need some kind of payment processor. So merchant account, PayPal, Stripe. You need some kind of shopping cart system, order form system. Now, if you look around and you're asking for a shopping cart, a shopping cart implies you need to have multiple products to add. You really just need a way to have an online order form. Some kind of email system, usually it's bundled in. And if you're selling physical products, I recommend a fulfillment house. That's a third party that sends out the products for you. In the early days, my husband and I would sit in the living room and package up our products and go to the post office and mail them out. Now, if there's a physical component, and some of my programs do have that, we have a fulfillment house that mails that out. And if you're selling something digital, you need a method to deliver that digital product. So a membership site, WordPress works really well, but there are lots of different ways to deliver a membership product. So here is my visual of what I talked about. So your website, step one, they find what it is that they want to buy, a sales letter page or a product page, getting to the order form, we've seen that, and then the post-purchase thank you page is a membership site, and I do ship out binders for people. That's kind of a little bonus that comes, little upsell bonus. Then the money goes into the merchant account, so the credit card, PayPal, etc. And then the database, I have a database of customers, so this is step 2, comes in here. Step 3, people don't even notice, right? When the person's buying, they go find it on the site, get to the order form, boom, they get to the thank you page. But behind the scenes, that money's going into your bank account or PayPal account. The database is being created with that customer's info, and then an email receipt goes out to them. So once you have an email list and a product, you can create a simple marketing funnel. So here's a very simple marketing funnel. On your website, if you have an opt-in box where you can collect names and emails of your leads, then you can start a relationship with your community and then occasionally send out offers to them, something that they would be interested in buying, and then they could go into your customers area. So that's a very simple marketing funnel. And I have people on my email list for years before they ever buy anything. I have people who get on my email list and then buy right away. So everyone's different. There's an element of timing that comes in. So you could have how to get your baby to fall asleep, but maybe the woman is pregnant. The baby hasn't been born yet. Or you could have uh, programs to help people with back pain, but they don't yet have back pain. Maybe they have foot pain or something else. So there's an element of timing. Like the website creation workshop, some people are not ready to have a website, but then when they're ready, they're like, yes, I want to have my website. I want to build it now, and I don't want to pay and outsource for other people to do it. All right, so let's come back to this world. I'm not going to talk about in person, your website driving people to your storefront right now. I am going to talk just a little bit about phone consultations or webinars or Zoom consultations. And, it's funny, Zoom is becoming a verb, right? A Zoom is really, and I got a slide for it, it's a technology. So doing business on the phone or on a webinar or on Zoom, there's 2 that I'm going to mention. There's many places to have online conferencing. Zoom is one of them. It's very, very popular. They do have a free plan, but it is really limited. It's limited on how long it can be and how many participants that you can have, but you can upgrade to a paid version. And then GoToWebinar, that's what I use. I've been using GoToWebinar for many, many years. And when you have many people, GoToWebinar is more cost effective than Zoom. So Zoom's great if you're going to have small meetings. GoToWebinar is better for when you have large meetings. And then you can have polls and surveys and lets you record them, and you can listen to GoToWebinar from your smartphone. That's the same with Zoom. So both of those are ways to do consultations. And you can also just do them on the phone. You can have one-on-one phone consultations. There's nothing wrong with that. And they all have different control panels. Here's the GoToWebinar control panel. And people can click in the box and ask questions, as people have been doing on this live call. So that is your online world, right? With all these places to go and to be online, and then your website, your world in the middle. And the reason why you want to have a website is you have control. You could at any time get kicked off of Facebook, Twitter, any of these platforms. You're like a renter on these other platforms. When you have your own website, you're a homeowner. You own it. Nobody can kick you out. And you want to think about having your online business, your website is your hub. How are you going to get people to come to your website to learn more about you so that they can take action and call you or buy one of your products or services via your website? And what I love about an online business is it allows you to make money while you're playing. So that's my husband and daughter and I, some time ago at Disneyland. We love to go to Disneyland. I love to spend time with my daughter. When you have an online business, you can donate your money or time to nonprofits. My daughter's really into acting. That was back when she was doing children's theater. And you can spend more time on other creative projects. So we've done these little Web Riding Hood video spoofs, and that's my husband dressed up as the wolf and my daughter. We also have a spoof of Alice in WordPress Land. And here's another shot of Alice in WordPress Land. And then my daughter and I dressed up for our little Web Riding Hood. So you want to watch for the PDF resource guide that is going to come in your email. I will be sending that out, so watch for that in your email. And this has been the big picture overview of creating an online business. And I hope with all these visuals and sort of breaking it down and making it simple will help you visualize how an online business all comes together. So let me tell you about my next training event. And Joanna, if you could put that link in the chat, we'll also email this out too. My next free webinar is coming up in a couple of weeks, and it is specifically on creating a website in WordPress, how to easily create a beautiful website yourself in WordPress. And on that webinar, I will be talking about my course, the spring website creation workshop course. So that is going to be opening up, and you will get some emails about that. And that is specifically for building a WordPress website without having to rely on anybody else, being able to do it all yourself. All right, so we are ready for the Q&A period, and you'll just type up, I'll just put this up. There's a little question box. Maybe this is a little clearer. So I am ready to, I think I'll take a sip of water, ready to take questions. And just if you have to go, just know that we are going to email this out to everybody who had opted in for this call. So I'll take a sip, Joanna, while you go through any of the questions.
Okay, sounds great. So our first question is from Sherry, and her question was back from the presentation when you were talking about for your opt-in, you can either have it like on the sidebar or you can have
Hmm.
it on a different website, like a
Okay.
standalone domain.
Okay.
So she was asking, is a standalone page a different website with a different domain name?
It can be if you want it to. It doesn't have to be. So you can have and let me go back to that slide. Hold on, where is that? Slideshow from current slide. You could have a standalone page on a different domain name if you want to. It's kind of extra work, or you could have it as part of your website. It's just a slash, and then you could get, you however you want to do it. So I think it's easier just to have it be a page on your site. Then that's one less domain name to buy. But depending upon you, you might be speaking at some conference and it might just be easier to say, go to my blah, blah, blah.com. So that might be easier. All right, that's a great question. Next question.
Okay, and then we have a question from Monique. Monique was asking, what app do you use to create an online shop?
Which application do you use to create an online shop? I'm going to send some out in the PDF resource. There are lots of different ways you can sell online.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
look for some of those third-party tools. Let me just get to my Q&A slide. Just look for some of those tools that I'm going to send out in the follow-up email. There's lots of different ones.
Okay, now Faith says, I want to sell books and add a % discount. Do you have a recommended shopping cart? Is that also
You
going to
want
be
to,
in the resources, or?
yeah, again, it's very individual what shopping cart system you want to use. So if you want to sell books and give a discount, I'm assuming you're going to be packing up and shipping the books out yourself. So, and if you could use a third, you could have a fulfillment house ship them out. But again, I don't think Amazon gives you that kind of control. So why don't look for the resources that we're going to send out.
Okay, yeah, we have a lot of questions asking your recommendations on, different shopping carts. So would that kind of be your answer for all of those questions, is just look out for our resources?
Yeah, it's hard on a free webinar like this to really sort of dig in with a person's specific situation. So just look for some of those resources. There's a whole lot of different ways you can sell things.
Okay. So Jim says, will your WordPress website creation training focus on the Divi product you promoted a few days ago?
Yes, that is part of that course.
Okay.
The Divi, yes, I did a Divi sale. Yes.
So Ken was asking, do you know how much time it takes for the dollars to go from PayPal or Stripe to your business bank account?
Um, I seem to get the PayPal dollars right away. When it goes to a merchant account, it usually takes a couple of days to settle. So you'll have to see if you're using Square or Stripe, uh, what it's called. That's the term, settling. So I use a merchant account, which is sort of an old-fashioned kind of bank account. Let me get that. I've got I like my visual for that. So for the money to come to me, it's usually a couple of days. But I think PayPal, the money is there right away. And I don't know if that's because I'm on an older grandfathered account, newer accounts that might take a couple of days. Um, but yeah, I would plan on it taking a couple of days. Here I'm ready to read the questions. I'll leave them up to you, Joanna. Sorry.
Okay, sounds good. No worries. Well, Jessica had typed in a comment. Jessica says, if you don't have a website yet, you will love Christina's website creation workshop. I couldn't be more thrilled that I took the training and now have a beautiful website that I maintain myself.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. And, I want to, let me bring up, hold on. Just want to show people. Let me get my, on my blog, and I'm logged into my blog, so I see the top toolbar. There is success stories here. And you can click on that and look at some of the different sites some of my students have created. There's like a video montage, but I like to make case studies out of my students, and some of my students let's see, success story. We'll write up a whole article and I'll mail that out. So here's a success story on Maria. And Jessica, I think you are on the list for a success story. Let's show her site, thesacredhealer.com. Hopefully I typed that in right. Yeah, so this is Jessica. She is a sacred healer, and this is the site she built herself. It's really beautiful in the website creation workshop. All right, let's get back to questions.
Okay, so Joanne says, I would like to know more about the Amazon store option. I think that was the Amazon Associates program. Would a visitor to my site click on the product they want and be taken to Amazon to purchase?
Yes.
And then would I get a percentage of the sale price?
Yes, but it's a small percentage. I don't know if it's a percentage or if it's a flat rate, but that link is gonna come Amazon Associates. So you'll have to look. In order to make a lot of money, you have to have a lot of traffic. But if you have products that you're going to want to recommend, why not? I don't think it costs anything. So what happens is a person would click from your site over to Amazon and the purchase would happen through Amazon. They'd be cookied. Amazon would note that it came from you, and then they would pay you. But you have to look through all their details on how good it's going to be for you. On the Amazon store, not the affiliate program. Yeah, the Amazon store, that is part of the Amazon affiliate program. So creating an Amazon store. So they would give you code and you would embed it. You would put the code onto your website, just like I showed. Let me get that. And that was a little bit of an older screenshot, so the design might look a little bit different. Where was that? Here it is. So she, in her Amazon Associates account, got the code and then put it into her site. So if somebody comes to her site and clicks, the purchase is on Amazon.
Okay, and Artist mentioned if you don't have a purchase in a few months, it expires. I don't know if that's...
I think that I don't have it memorized, their details, okay. But yeah, the purchase kind of has to happen close to when they've clicked.
Okay, so Remo was asking about if you recommend content CRM software. Is that something that's going to be in the PDF?
Yeah, so CRM software is customer resource management. So it's a way of managing your customer database. And there are expensive ways to do it, and there are cheap ways to do it. And I give you some resources in the PDF.
Okay. Now, Jackie was asking, how do you choose a suitable shopping cart provider? Do you have certain things that you look at?
Well, you want to look at the cost per month. What is your budget? You want to look at, will the system allow for shipping physical goods? Some people only want to do digital, like online courses where nothing has to be physically shipped. So you want to keep that in mind of are you going to ship things or not ship things? Do you have to collect taxes? Do you have to collect shipping? But a lot of it is sort of a personal feel. So one of the ones that I like is, let's go to Christina's Resources. Christina's Resources.com/ThriveCart. I think we set this up. Let me just double check. Yeah, so this one is a really good, easy to use system, and you can sign up for it. And I think they still have lifetime access. So looks like it's 690. So you can check that out. ThriveCart is the one that I'm liking a lot these days. But they all, you'll have to think about what your needs are and what the costs are.
Okay. Now, Michelle was asking, is the offer to receive your blog a viable opt-in offer?
It used to be more of a viable opt-in offer, like sign up for my newsletter is not as compelling anymore as something else. So when people come to my site and they opt in, they get a PDF, but then you'll automatically get my blog newsletters. So for this one, so the opt-in for the simple truth, which is this big picture overview, you're opting in for a webinar, for a training. And anytime someone is on my email list, they automatically get my past newsletters, or you can just look through. I did one recently on tools to run online webinars. So most of my newsletter tips are WordPress focused, but some of them are not specifically WordPress. Like this one was, focus on your client experience. So this was an article I did, and I sent out an email about this, and it was, not specifically about WordPress.
Okay, so we have a question from Sherry. Sherry says, can you please say more about what you mean by needing a business PayPal account to accept credit card payments? A friend had sent me money to my PayPal from his using his credit card, but I don't have a business account.
There may be, you'll have to look. Let's see, let me get my slide. Okay. So he paid you with a credit card and it came into your personal account? Just
She said he sent money. That may be different from paying. I'm not sure.
yeah, you'll have to look, Sherry. I mean, I set mine up a long, long time ago, and my understanding is there's two types of accounts. I think because it came through PayPal, that's it. It came through PayPal. So with a business account, you can take credit cards with people not having a PayPal account. So it kind of like got processed through PayPal and he used a credit card. That's slightly different. But if he had a PayPal and you had a PayPal, but he paid you with a credit card, then it's PayPal to PayPal. With a business PayPal account, the other person paying you does not have to have PayPal.
Okay, sounds good. So we have a question from Joanna. Joanna says, how does one go about creating and marketing an ebook? And do you publish it through Amazon?
An ebook. You could publish through Amazon, or she wants to sell it. If you want to sell your ebook, you could sell it through your
Yeah.
site, or if you get it in the right format that Amazon wants, you can sell it through Amazon. And then you have, Amazon's a market, Amazon is a marketplace. So you
Okay.
might get other traffic. So it's up to you.
Okay. Yeah, she says she could use it as a bonus as well.
Yeah.
So how would you go about creating and marketing that? Would that just be like writing it up in Word or?
Um, there are different sort of official formats for ebooks. So you'll have to look at what Amazon wants. Um, like if it's going to be on a Kindle, it has to be in a specific format. But the way I would start is write it in Word. You can always convert it to the exact format they want, but the content, I would just get started and write it in Word or whatever you're comfortable with. Most people use Word.
Okay. So we have we have a question from Ken. Ken says, I'm looking at redoing my website through Kartra. Is this wise, or should I be looking at WordPress, or am I taking on too much?
Well, Kartra. I've heard of it. I've not used it. Kartra. So you'll have to look at what it costs and what they give you, and it looks like it's an all-in-one thing. I've heard of it. I've not used it, so it could be great. Let's look at their plans and pricing. Right, so that's silver's 200 a month, and this one's 100 a month. So, everybody's going to be different. I teach WordPress because once you open one hosting account, you can have as many websites as you want, and it doesn't cost you any more generally on most hosting plans. So I have websitecreationworkshop.com, and I have christinahills.com, which is a different separate website, and I have graphicscreationworkshop.com. So I have different .com names. They can all be hosted in one hosting account. But Kartra might be right for you. So I have heard of it. I've never used it.
Okay. Would you recommend WordPress, or maybe coming to the next webinar so you can learn more about it? Or
I would come to the next webinar. I think people can sign up now for this, can't they?
yes.
Yes. And we'll put that link in the chat. We'll also send this link out when we send out the replay for today's call. And on that call, I go more into depth about using WordPress as your website. It is the most professional platform for building a website. It is the most flexible platform for building a website.
Okay. And Sherry was asking, does WordPress come with a shopping cart?
WordPress doesn't come with a shopping cart, but there is a free plugin called WooCommerce that you can use to set up a shopping cart. And there's other ways to connect with WordPress online selling. There's lots of different ways.
Okay. Now, Diana says, I do ghostwriting, book coaching, media coaching, and I'm a voice talent and have a WordPress site. What would be my first step to add the buy online function?
Read that one more time.
Okay. I do ghostwriting, book coaching, media coaching, and I'm a voice talent and have a WordPress site. What would be my first step to add the buy online function?
Your very first step to the buy online function is to get a PayPal and or Stripe account so you can accept the money. So you need, whatever system, most systems you need to connect it to some kind of the payment processor part. The payment processor, I have that other diagram. That would be your first step.
Okay, Diana says she has PayPal.
Okay, so PayPal's great. Some people also get a Stripe account because some customers don't have PayPal, or some people don't like PayPal. But PayPal's a great way to get started.
Okay, so then would it just be like adding PayPal buy buttons to your site to purchase products? Would that kind of be her next step?
Yeah, it's hard for me to, on a free webinar with lots and lots of people on the call, sort of know for her specifically.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay, sounds good. So,
Why don't you
Stephen,
read what Maggie said before Maggie
okay,
leaves?
okay.
It's down at the
Yes.
bottom.
So Maggie says, I highly recommend Christina's website creation workshop. I'm learning how to create a website that is authentic to me and the healing work I do. The program offers extraordinary support and helpful live call guidance, and the self-paced format lets you adapt to the unexpected events of life. And her bonus resources are amazing. I have been transformed from a quivering low-tech person into a confident WordPress website creator.
Some Maggie, I love that. A quivering low-tech person into a confident WordPress website creator. Awesome, awesome. And for those of you who don't know much about my course, I will be talking about that in a couple of weeks on that free training webinar. All right, so
Okay.
where were we? And I'm happy to keep going. If people are still here asking questions, I'm happy to keep going.
Okay, great. Yeah, we do still have a few more questions to get through. So Steven says, what shopping cart systems are the safest to use, and do they reside in your website or are they on another site?
The safest to use, I'm not sure what he means by that. There's a lot of,
Maybe the most secure?
yeah, there's a lot of reputable ones. Um, I'm going to send out that resource. I really like ThriveCart because of the price point. It's right now, I think they're still doing one-time fee and then you have it for life, so they're not charging you by the month. So there's expensive ones, and then there's, it depends if you need to have affiliate marketing. It sort of depends upon what you're going to do. So I would just look at the software, look at the reputation, see if you can get a trial account.
Okay, and then does the shopping cart system reside in your website or is it on another separate
Great
website?
question. All right, so let me go to, so I'm going to go to the sales page and I'm going to walk you through this. Sometimes it's embedded into your site and sometimes it is a third party. So this is my sales letter for my graphics creation workshop, and anybody who's on here, if you want a discount code, email me and I will send you a discount to get a discount for this because you were on the webinar. When you click enroll now, I'm actually on now a different site. So I'm now on a third party site. So what does that mean? That means from my website, I click to get to a secure order form. Sometimes that's embedded in the site and sometimes it's a third party.
Okay, sounds good. So Joyce said when you went through this, I think it was this diagram with the, everything flowing through. Joyce says it seems very simple, and when I do it, the flow is not as flowing as yours. So I guess she was asking for suggestions on maybe getting it to flow a little bit better. I don't know if that's...
Can you read that one more time?
Yes. So Joyce says it seems very simple, and when I do it, the flow is not as flowing as yours. How do I do that?
Meaning when she buys someone else's product or when she goes to her own site, the flow is not.
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I don't know if we have enough information or for
Yeah.
people to answer it on this webinar.
So, like if I go to Amazon, so if I go to Amazon and so I click on a book and I pick it and I could buy with one click or I could go to the shopping cart. Uh, I I'm not really sure what she means by the flow. So
Okay.
I'm
Joyce
not sure
could
how to help
clarify.
her.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. So Joyce did have another question. She was asking, how do I get, I think she means how do I get this notified of the things that you post on Facebook? Is there some way that she can follow you on Facebook?
Yes. I should have had that in my presentation. So if you go to facebook.com/Christina Hills Biz, that is my fan page. So you can follow my fan page. So that's my business page. I'll post that to everybody. And then if you want to follow me personally, um, you can go to facebook.com/Christina Hills. And then I don't have a lot of room for friends, but you can follow me. So I don't have an example of someone to follow. I could demo that, but yeah.
Okay,
Or
sounds good.
just go to Facebook and search for Christina Hills.
Okay. So Joyce clarified, the flow is not as smooth on her site. She has a spiritual site and she says the content is not as flowing as yours. I don't think that's something we can dive into now, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
is there
She
maybe,
she could put her link in, maybe if we have time. I don't know. We have a lot of questions. I could maybe look at it.
or would it be something if she emailed support, we could maybe recommend, I don't know if we have another program that would be a good fit for her.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's see how many more questions we have. So she should type in, um, yeah, well, let's go on with the next question.
Okay, sounds good. So Maggie was asking for your opinion on doing a week-long free challenge that leads to a 5-week paid online course with live calls.
Challenges are very popular right now. Facebook challenges. That falls into, and I don't want to go into the details of talking about a Facebook challenge, but that comes back to this um, diagram of having an online business. That would be part of the social media. So I would say, yes, if that's something that you want to do, I would say go for it. At this point, right now, as of today, I'm not teaching that, but that there's a lot of moving parts when you do that. So you're going to kind of want to have your some of the other pieces in place. Like you'll need email marketing in order to do that. So what I was talking about is just really simple, post your um, you know, post your articles. That's like a really simple first step.
Okay. So we have a question from Sherry. Sherry says, do I still need to apply and pay a subscription to a merchant account to accept credit cards, or is it a one-stop shop if I get Stripe?
It's one-stop shop with Stripe. I should
Okay.
have said that in my PowerPoint. So when you go to Stripe, you got to make sure Stripe is in the resources, Joanna. Not sure if it is.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
Yeah, so when you sign up for a Stripe account, it's sort of one stop. So you don't have to go get a separate, and I don't know if I'm assuming Stripe does American Express, but Stripe has become more popular. There's no monthly fee. I would stick with that.
Okay. Now, Michelle says, is it best to have a cart system that is from your own country? I'm in Norway. I was thinking of taxes, billing, and so on.
Maybe. You should look around. I know there was WorldPay used to be a system that people used. Where's the link to WorldPay? So I would look into WorldPay. There are some, if you are in Europe, I it's possible because you want to make sure you're collecting VAT taxes. So many systems will work internationally. So just double check as you're looking at different systems. But you don't necessarily have to pick, you'll have to check. I would ask your accountant.
Okay, sounds good. So Fiona says, I want to send an e-zine to my mail list, which is 2,000 plus subscribers. Which system would be best? Can it be done on MailChimp? And are those resources in the PDF that we're sending out?
Yes. Now she says she has 2,000 subscribers. You mean email addresses? How are these subscribers?
Yeah, she just said her list is 2,000 plus.
So that means she already has a list.
It sounds like it, yes.
Yeah, so I need to know a little bit more.
Okay.
I want to take a quick look at Joyce's site.
Okay.
So it
Do that.
looks like, oh, my screen is paused. Okay, so here's Joyce's site. Now, I'm assuming you go to join. And it looks like you're joining here for free. What happens when I click become a premium member? Not sure where the credit card is. Free for the first 14 days. So I won't take the time to fill this out. Somewhere it's going to ask for a credit card. Maybe let's see what happens when we go to the store. Okay. Let's click on the answer. So did she say what system she's using? So it looks like your store you have set up, you have lots of things that the person can add to the cart. So this is a traditional shopping cart, and then I go here. So it's kind of like Amazon where you're adding a lot of stuff, and then you get to PayPal. So that's the thing about PayPal is a little bit of a clunky experience. So that's probably, Joyce, what you're thinking is they leave your site and then they get to PayPal and then they have to log into PayPal. So that's one of the reasons why I was saying sometimes you want to have Stripe where you can have a little bit less of a cumbersome system. Yeah, so people get confused because they're like, well, I don't have PayPal. Why am I having to log in? So that is kind of the thing about PayPal. Let me try this again. How many more questions do we have?
We have a few more. I know we're coming up to 2:30.
Right.
So
Yeah. And let me just look, for those of you who are still on, see here, this is why this is confusing. So it took me to PayPal. Now, people who don't have PayPal won't realize that all they have to do is click here, and then they can get to to buying. So that's one of the things about PayPal. It's a little bit of it can be a clunky experience. But if you're trying to bootstrap, you can do it. You can do it quickly. All right, let me get back over here. Just want to remind people you will get an email with this. I'll put that into the chat for everybody. That's for, oh, that should have said HTTPS. That is my training on creating a WordPress website. So it goes more into depth into the WordPress part. Today's was a big picture overview of creating an online business. How about Joanna? We take a couple more questions and then I think we will wrap this up. Looks like we got 1 minute left.
Okay, sounds good. So, well, we have a comment here from Marcia. Marcia says, I have learned from 4 online coaches this past year, and I like your style of presentation the best. You are more organized and have the best formats.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I teach with pictures. I like lots of pictures. If I don't see a picture, I don't always understand things. So I do that when I teach my students. So thank you for that feedback.
Okay, so Joanna was asking on Stripe, can you offer PayPal as a payment option? So, they could pay with a credit card. Or
Yes, right.
you can
Yes,
do that?
you can set your site up where they pick PayPal or they pick Stripe.
Got it. Okay. And then Monique was asking, do you host online courses on your website or on an external provider such as Ning? I don't think we really covered online courses today.
No, and I wish I had had them in it. I host them on my WordPress website. So, but you don't have to if you don't want to. There's lots of different ways. And I am going to be teaching how to create an online course. And I'm not sure when we're going to put that out yet. But we had it planned for the summer. We might do it a little bit earlier. But so some people have the course on a third party. Some people have it on their WordPress site. In my let's see, do I have a screenshot of that? Yeah, so my course is all in WordPress because it's really cost effective. You can have lots of different courses in one web hosting account.
Okay. And then just to answer the follow-up question of Fiona, Fiona said, I have a community list with emails and have not sent an e-Zyme, but she wants to start sending an e-Zyme. So I don't know where her email addresses are being stored right now.
Yeah, so maybe she just has them in her Outlook.
Maybe.
So yeah, so you'll have to look at the resources we send, and it could be done with MailChimp. You'll have to figure out how to import those. So you'd have to get those in to whatever email marketing system that you have. And each company handles that slightly differently.
Okay, sounds great. So we're 2 minutes past 2:30.
Okay. So watch for the PDF resources guide that will come in your email. And thank you to Joanna for helping me. This has been a really fun call. And watch your email. We will send out a replay if you want to review this again, plus that PDF resource. And look for the link to come to the webinar on easily creating a beautiful website in WordPress. That's my free masterclass training that will then talk about my actual 8-week course. So you have that to look forward to. So that's it for me, Christina Hills. Thank you to Joanna and everybody else on my team, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.